Welcome to Bistory Media. Saturday, January 15, 1966. Junior officers of the Nigerian Army, largely of Igbo extraction, staged a violent rebellion against the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This video highlights some of the reasons why Major General J.T.U. Agwironsi and his friend Francis Adekunle Fadri were assassinated in the Counter-Coup of July 29, 1966. Please smash the like button and remember to subscribe and enable notification. Subscription is free. Just hit the red button below. Without much ado, let's get started. On Saturday, January 15, 1966, junior officers of the Nigerian Army, which were largely of Igbo extraction, staged a violent coup against the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. During this coup, a number of politicians and military officers were killed. Some of the politicians that were killed included, among others, the Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa, the Premier of the Northern Region and spiritual leader of the North, Ahmadu Bello, Western Region Premier Samuel Ladoke Akintola, and the Finance Minister Festus Okotiebo were all apprehended and assassinated in broad daylight. Among the senior military officers that were assassinated in their respective places include Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Pam, Brigadier Samuel Ademulegun, Brigadier Zakaria Mai Malari, Colonel Ralph Shodeinte, Colonel Kon Muhammad, Lieutenant Colonel Abugu Lagema, and Lieutenant Colonel Ato Onegbe. With the coup in the Eastern Region failing, the President Nnamdi Azikiwe was on vacation in the Caribbean. The Nigerian Army Chief Agwironsi survived the coup and later became the head of state. The coup was widely suspected to have been carried out on ethnic lines. This is because the majority of the casualties were from the north, while the main actors in the coup were said to be Igbos. The northern military officers subsequently vowed to avenge themselves, despite claims that the coup was orchestrated by military officers from different ethnic groups in Nigeria, not just Igbos. Several events occurred in the 6 months following the first coup that deteriorated the country's situation. Ironsi's failure to try the coup plotters pursuant to manual military law was the fundamental problem. Rather, they were detained indefinitely without trial. Northern leaders and military officers were frustrated by Major General J.T.U. Agwironsi's lack of action. They began gathering in mosques and the emir's palaces to plan another coup. When the justice he had promised was postponed or not forthcoming, tensions in the military hierarchy became very high. This failure, or refusal as you may call it, was one of several errors that would eventually lead to the July coup. The radical southern press had not helped matters either. They had pushed him to the corner, hailing the January coup plotters as national heroes. It was alleged that Major Kaduna Nziogu, the leader of the January coup plotters, had reached a 5-point deal with Ironsi. This became very worrisome. Nziogu's safety and immunity from the legal processes were said to be guaranteed under the 5-point agreement. As emotions began to grow and nothing seemed to be done, Yakubu Gowon, who was then a lieutenant colonel, made visit to barracks across the country, appealing to the northern soldiers to forgive and forget. But one would ask, was that the case, having been that he was a major beneficiary of the coup? Leave your thoughts in comment section. When General T.Y. Danjuma, at the time a colonel, asked General Ironsi about the fate of the January coup plotters, Ironsi would respond, justice would be done. Besides, several accounts claim that the killing of the northern leaders were mocked throughout the country. This contributed in foiling the file. Rumors of the Prime Minister's death being particularly horrific heightened tensions, as did Ironsi's failure to divulge the condition of the so-called missing senior officers. It wasn't until after the counter-coup that the details of the death became public. Agwironsi issued a number of decrees to put a stop to the country's political violence and restore order and harmony. The Constitution and Modification Decree No. 5, also known as the Unification Decree, was one of them. According to him, extreme regionalism and tribalism had fractured national unity, and this order was designed to restore it. Nigeria was to become a unitary state rather than a federation as a result of this decree. On May 24, 1966, the decree went into effect. The regions that were eliminated were replaced by a group of provinces. Each region had its own set of provinces, which were all under the command of a military governor. The eastern region had its own set of provinces, as did other areas. The decree unified the civil service of the republic. Northerners then reacted angrily to this move, seeing it as a prompt by the South to permanently dominate the North. This is because the South had a significant educational advantage over the North, which was following Islamic education. The implementation of this ordinance provoked violent protests against the national military government in the North. The protests led to full-scale strife and violence that killed a number of Igbos in the North. That pogrom claims the lives of about 35,000 Igbo men and women. It is one of the most heinous Igbo massacres in northern Nigeria. Then, the mistrust of Aguiyi-Ironsi by both North and South. To assuage the northern worries that he was anti-North and a collaborator in the January coup, Aguiyi-Ironsi surrounded himself with northern soldiers. This turned out to be one of his major misadventures. In the South, Ironsi was not trusted either. He was seen as an agent of the North. Unfortunately, Ironsi lacked some of the necessary skills for crisis management. He did not move quickly enough to prosecute political offenders and the mutineers, who took advantage of his weakness and staged a counter-coup on July 29, 1966, toppling his regime. This coup turned out to be the bloodiest coup. Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Fajri and Aguiyi-Ironsi were kidnapped in Ibadan and taken to an unknown location, where they were executed by northern soldiers. Some reports claim that they were shot by Sergeant Tijani. There are claims that Ironsi and Fajri were killed after Ironsi refused to answer questions and confess his role in the military coup of January 1966. The coup resulted in widespread murders in the north. Soldiers and civilians joined hands in the killings, which resulted in the death of around 35,000 Easterners living in the north. The tragedy triggered a large-scale migration of Igbos from the north to their ancestral homeland in the east. You can only imagine what would have happened had Ironsi tried the coup process and delivered the justice he so promised. It is possible that such move would have reduced military tensions, particularly in the north, and saved the country untold crisis. Watch this video here for a full account of the July 29, 1966 counter-coup, the bloodiest coup in Nigeria's history. Remember to smash the like button on this video. It will go a long way to help us. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notification so you don't miss our future uploads. I will see you in the next video. Want to watch more videos like this? Subscribe to Bistory Media and press the bell icon next to it. We'll bring you more videos on the forgotten history of Nigeria and important events around the African continent, the power, and things the world should know about Africa. Thanks for watching, and until my next video, please stay tuned and cheers.